Welcome to SLW podcast. This is episode 9, and in this episode, we're going to be focusing on James and my transition to Texas with the kids and what it was like during that time going into another internship. This was your second internship that you did in like a ministry school, so we'll be taking that apart. What's the word I'm looking for? We'll be
pulling it all apart.
We'll be pulling it all apart like a brisket pork.
There we go. Good job, Pace. So we moved to Texas, and that transition was kind of crazy. Do you remember the day before orientation? It was in January.
Yeah,
it was cold.
It was like January 19th.
We hauled a camper down there, a fifth wheel with my truck.
With our 2 Great Danes.
And we had our 2 Great Danes. We didn't know where we were going to stay at, like a campground yet. And so we just stayed in the school parking lot.
And
the first night. And we had no power.
No power. It was freezing cold.
Yeah.
And it was just the 4 of us at the time.
Me, you,
Eden and Hev.
And we bundled up in the bed.
Yeah, they were 4 and 2. Aww.
And then I went to orientation the next day.
Yeah, the orientation was the next day. We got there pretty late. And you woke up and you were like, I have orientation. I was like, okay, go. And I was like, what do I do with the kids?
Y'all just hung out in the parking lot while I went, huh? It was till
it wasn't
it was till
long.
1 o'clock or something.
I discovered a park behind there like after the fact, but yeah, we made it work. We just bundled up, and I was like, Papa's in there. Papa's in that building. He'll be out any minute. And anyway, yeah. So you finally came out, and
then we set off to go find a place to park our camper. But we were excited because it was a new chapter.
Yeah.
New people. We still were working through our marriage issues and stuff like that, which I want to talk about. So something that I realized like at the first semester of school was like 6 months or so. I realized how Jessica I'd allowed her to start leading the relationship and the decisions and like the tone of the house and stuff.
I'm just kidding.
And so what that did was it caused strife.
Yeah, it was very chaotic in the home, I would say.
Yeah. So I started praying about it, and I felt like what we needed to do was be separated.
That wasn't right away, though.
Yeah, after the first semester.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yep.
So I asked Jessica to go home, and I stayed there.
We still had our house.
We had our house in Denham Springs. Nope. So you went home, and then I was there by myself for I think maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah.
At the culmination of it, I went on a missions trip to Brazil.
Yeah, this was the second semester. Yeah.
So I left you guys there. What'd y'all do during your time? And
the first 3 weeks were extremely difficult. I was really angry at you. I was angry I had to go back home. But honestly, like with where we were at also, your tuition was paid for. It was difficult. I hung out with a friend and I went to my mom's house a lot, but I could tell she was always disappointed every time she saw me, which was really difficult, and it made me more angry at you because I had to put up with her. So I thought, and she would just talk about how she couldn't believe. But actually, on the way back from Texas going to Louisiana, I had time to think, and I remembered a dream that I had where you told me that you loved me and that you would be back. And then you kissed me and you went off. And during that time, well, in the dream still, I ended up going back to what looked like an old home that I used to have growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, with remembering that, I was like it's going to be okay. Like, I know I have the 2 young kids. Like, it's going to work out and I'm going to be fine. And so I called my mom, told her about it. And my mom's very spiritual. And so she was like, okay, like this can be a good thing or what have you. But going back, I was still frustrated. I mean, there was all these emotions there because we were still figuring us out, after everything. And then on top of that, going back to the environment where it was being cultivated, that frustration and chaos in our home, it was hard. But then after about 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks, they got a little bit easier and I got into a routine with the kids and we just made it work, and I was actually looking forward to seeing you again. So by the end of it.
And then I came in and picked you guys up.
Did you go? We can cut this out if we need. Did you go to the mission trip during the second semester? Or was it the third?
Second.
Yeah, because you came back to Louisiana. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I came back to the house and I picked you guys up feeling like a new man. And I felt a sense of direction again where I hadn't before. I just defaulted to allowing you to lead. I had purpose again. I knew what I wanted to do. So in that, it didn't make me like dependent on you, and I think that helped out a lot.
Yeah, I think also like you were on like this high for like you were just excited again about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still frustrated though. Like there was moments where I'd be like excited and happy to be with you again, but I was still very angry.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand how it was so easy for you to let me go.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I wrestled with a lot during that time. So when you coming back, it was like a bittersweet thing. I was happy that you were back home. And we weren't doing it to be like, we need a break from each other. Like we need to be separated. Like we're on the verge of divorce. Like this is one step from it. It wasn't that. It was like, hey, I think it'll be healthy for you to go home. Because we were in a transition in Texas too. We didn't have money for rent. And that was another thing that kind of, you could hold the camper there, but so you ended up staying with friends.
Yeah.
Which was not easy for you because
it was easy.
It was?
Yeah. I was on a high. Nothing mattered to me. I didn't have money for food, so I just fasted. I remember fasting for 3 days.
Yeah.
And praying for food to come. And we were at a conference and somebody I waited till the conference cleared out and I felt like I was supposed to. And after everybody left the building, there was a huge slice of pizza that somebody had left untouched on the table because you couldn't bring the food in the sanctuary. And I was like, manna from heaven.
I mean, you don't get picky when you're hungry.
I was filled with joy again, and I had peace and love, and I was experiencing God. And I think what our family had cultured us in and what we were trying to follow was leading us into condemnation and shame and guilt. And stuff like
Depression.
that. Yeah.
For me.
So you were still kind of stuck in that and you didn't know how to
Yeah.
get out. So, but I had to lead you out of it. I remember there being one night where we were like, I went out to go do something with the school and I came
Did we
back.
go back to Texas at this point?
Yeah, you were back in Texas and we started arguing about something.
It was very like minute.
Uh, it was because I was gone and you were like kind of going into the old habit of like where we would make each other feel shame, guilt, all these things. We're going to do stuff for ourselves because we couldn't like ever be apart, and we would always shame each other whenever we would separate.
Yeah, I remember. I felt like
Kind
I
of
was
controlling, afraid. And so you started doing that. Like, I can't believe you left. I can't believe you left us here, and like making me feel bad. And I was like, I'm not gonna make you feel
No,
bad
you're
like
like,
that.
I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, I was like,
And
I
that
don't.
pissed me off. I remember.
I was like,
what?
I don't feel bad for leaving. I was like, I had a great time. I know I was supposed to go.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way whenever you wanted to go do stuff. And I said, I'm not going to do that to you anymore. And you were like, wait, you're not
Wait.
going to make me feel bad for going to do what I want to do. I was like, no.
Oh, I remember that.
And I think something there clicked for you.
Yeah. At the beginning of the argument, I like what it just blows my mind why we argued so much like over the silliest. It made no sense. But anyway, I remember being so frustrated, and again, I didn't hear God's voice very clear all the time. Or that knowing or whatever you want to call it. But I heard very strong, does he love you?
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like, yes. And then like I had this knowing that if he loved me, he wouldn't be purposely making decisions to hurt me.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when you would ask me to do things or when you would go out to do things, like I knew you loved me. And so
Yeah.
I just constantly had to remind myself of that.
We were learning to trust each other,
Mm-hmm.
which it hadn't been there before
No, because I mean, we were just going
because of the
through
trauma that we went through.
Yeah.
Like initially with our marriage starting out, we just kind of got into this like self-preservation mode, I think, and we're trying to like hang on to what we had, you know,
Yeah.
through like control and manipulation.
Yeah.
Also, something that I want to highlight on is that prior to going to that school, I just assumed that like everyone who was a Christian was a good person.
Yeah.
And I never, my mind never really
Good
went
point.
to the place that within Christianity, there are people who are religious, which by religion, I mean, like the people that killed Jesus were religious. They like cared more about the law and they cared more about
how it looked,
at controlling people, using fear to control people. So I didn't realize that that was within Christianity and that there were also good people within Christianity. But like that school taught us how to identify people who were religious. And once I realized the character traits of those sort of people, a light clicked on, because up until that point, I didn't realize it. And then I started seeing like patterns, like from your family. Do you remember the night where I came back to get you guys and your mom and John and your sister Abigail called?
Were we at the house when they called?
Yeah, it was when I came back to get you guys.
Oh, I remember that. They called you and were yelling on the phone. I don't think you let me listen to it at first. Because it was you clicked it on later, but that was I think that was the first time I really like, maybe I didn't.
Saw how much they hated me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they called you. And what I remember the most was like John saying, "You need to wake up, son. This ain't summer camp." Or how did he say? He said, "You think you're at summer camp? It's time to come home," or something like that. "This ain't summer camp, boy." That's what it was. "This ain't summer camp, boy. You need to get home." What? And my mom was just yelling, and my sister was like, "You just keep getting my sister pregnant."
Yeah, she was yelling. And I found out later they were all drunk.
Well.
They called me and they were all drunk and they were like yelling at me and stuff. And I'm just over there laughing.
You were. I remember that. Yeah, you're like
that night. You had some kind of experience where like
it was the same night.
The joy of the Lord came over you. Yeah, and you started laughing like hysterically.
What had happened was, I remember your friend called you. And I remember being so frustrated with him every time I saw him because he would just always laugh. And he was always like, "Whoa, God's good." And like, "Whoa." And I would just be like, "What a fucking fake." Like, I probably wouldn't use that at the time. I'm like, "What? He's such a faker."
Yeah.
Or whatever. Come to find out that young man was involved in he wasn't Mennonite, he was Amish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he came from this like strict community where everything was like controlled and watched, and he finally had freedom to choose what he wore, what he listened to, and like
he came from a heavy religious background.
So he was just excited and like that he could know a God outside of his control. And
what happened to you though?
When I found that out, I just was like,
it was right after I got off the phone with,
because I was frustrated that you're talking to him. And I wish I could remember the exact words, but I heard God's voice again. And it was basically, "Who are you to judge this man?" And my head, I was sitting on the bed and my whole body flung back. And I just started like doing this on the bed. Like my head just kept banging on the bed back and forth. And I was like, "What the hell is happening?" And you came in, I think, and you were just, I guess you were laughing. And so I started laughing, but I could not stop. I mean, people are going to think this is great. I mean, I was literally like, I felt like I was being lifted.
Yeah, he was slamming your head on the pillow is what you said later. He said you were stubborn.
And I was.
And you just kept laughing and laughing. I was like, "That's it, babe. You're getting it." It doesn't matter.
And oddly enough, I didn't have a headache.
Then I think the next day, your dad came over and he had gotten riled up. I think your mom called him.
Oh, my mom definitely called him and he got very frustrated.
He was trying to fight me.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
And I later on I saw how they used him as like a tool, because your dad was somebody who came from like the Chicago area and would like fight and stuff like that. And so they were all timid, John and your mom and all of them. And so they would call him and get him riled up and angry and then send him out to do their work. Yeah.
And they did that a lot. And she did that with.
So the point in this being is that I started identifying these certain people as being religious, and then I all of a sudden stopped caring what they think. I stopped caring what they had to say, and they would still continue like call me They continually called us and harassed us like the whole time we were there.
It was always like a disappointment when they would call.
You guys need to come back home. What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
And I would just laugh, and they hated it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting freedom here. And that's whenever we realized that the problem in our marriage wasn't us. It was religious people. They were trying to like keep our love from growing because they didn't have it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that they weren't happy, because like there's superficial happiness, and like most of those religious people have that. Like they have nice things, they have like, you know, a good Christmas and all this kind of stuff, but they don't have a satisfaction in life. They're never satisfied. And they didn't have that, and so
trying to rob it from others.
They like to steal it from others so that they don't feel uncomfortable around those people.
Yeah. And that was hard. Like going back to that. I know we're not there yet. Yeah. I just remember calling my mom a couple times because like I wanted a relationship with her. Like why wouldn't I, you know? And she would be very short with me on the phone, or
they use condemnation to control.
And
so like if you don't do what a religious person wants, they will like shun you, kind of. Oh, you're not going to be.
Yeah, it was just very short on the phone, and
I didn't realize I was experiencing that for like 5 years, and that's why I hated going to the holidays, because I could. Like they would greet, whenever we got there, they would greet you guys, and they'd be like, oh, hey, Jessica, hey, kids, and like hug them and stuff like that. And then literally their faces would like change, almost like Squidward. And they'd be like, hi, James.
Yeah.
And you could hear like,
oh, hey, James.
Yeah, oh, hey, James. It would be like you could hear the condemnation in their voice, the disappointment, the shame. And it was like heavy, and you'd be like, hey, and you'd like feel it come on you. And so I hated being around them because that's what I felt every time. They wouldn't make you guys feel it.
But what sucked is like that I could hear it toward you, but I felt like I had to choose for so long, which was so hard.
Which is what most of our arguments would be around, because I would be like, I don't want to go to the holidays.
Wow. Yeah, that's what we would argue about.
I don't want to, like, the holidays would come around and I would almost hate it, because I'd be like, I
don't want to go over there. I don't want to do this. But what's crazy is like some of your family members would do that to me, and you didn't see it either. So
because you're trying to let go of what you once experienced as love, which was actually just like conditional love based on you performing.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, like, that's the only love you had that you know from your family, right? And so you're kind of like having to pick between like, okay, this person that I just have known for like 4 or 5 years, or somebody that raised me that I've known my whole life.
It's hard.
That gave me like this love that was fictitious. Like conditional, based on you being.
But you don't see it as conditional.
No, you see it as just normal, because like that's how everybody in America
is. This is your role in this family. Like you need to continue your role, and this person's taking you away from this role.
Yeah.
So, and you were a threat. So, and it sucked. Like I hated feeling that way, because I absolutely loved you, and I thought I felt like I wasn't respecting my family, and respect and honor
they
was
would use that a lot.
Huge thing, because my grandfather was in the military, and like he used this fear to make things happen, or if he was angry or frustrated. So
yeah, I remember going back one time to them, and like John was like, I need you to step outside and we need to have a talk. And so like he brought me out there, and he started telling me, and he was like drunk. I could tell he was like had a cup of wine in his hand and had been drinking all day. I guess they had anticipated like talking to us or something. But he intentionally brought me outside by myself, and then he started talking about how it was a mistake that you and I got together, and I had altered the course of your life.
Because you could do that. Yeah. You had the power to do that.
And he started like talking to me about how I needed to respect Papa, and I need to stand up when he walks in the room and acknowledge him and shake his hand and all this kind of stuff. And I was
You know
like,
that was coming from my mom, though, too.
I know. And I was like, these people, like, this was actually that he actually had that conversation with me before I went to the school. Because I remember it now. When he had that conversation with me, I felt like a load of shame and condemnation. Like, and I felt like I was a mistake and all this stuff. And I think I was wrestling with that like prior to going to the school. But anyways, I specifically remember that conversation and just feeling like complete shit afterwards. Despite like doing my best to be a father and provide. It's like, nothing
We
you
were
ever
like
did was
24 years old.
nothing you ever did was good enough.
We were so young. And like, no, like it was, and that was what I felt like my whole life in that house, honestly.
Yeah. So like
And I just thought it was normal.
going to that school and finding out that you can be like a Christian and not be like that. It was such a relief for me.
Yeah.
And then that's where the joy comes in. The joy comes in and not like caring what those people have to say.
Yeah.
Because those were the type of people who actually killed Christ.
Mm-hmm.
The people that followed the law, that used fear and manipulation to control other people.
Yeah.
And they thought they were doing God's will, so it's no different nowadays. The more I've gotten involved in church and the more I've learned over the years, I've seen that that's actually where the majority of Christians stand, is being those type of fearful, manipulative, use condemnation.
Yeah. Very
which is
unhealthy.
sad, Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure.
So after you started having those experiences,
I didn't get them often, but like, I didn't ask for that one, by the way.
But I started falling in love with you again.
Yeah.
And I started remembering, like when we had first met.
Mm-hmm.
I started feeling attracted to you again in a way that like I wasn't searching for something in other people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I was satisfied with you, and it was really good.
I think it took time for me to trust again still.
Mm-hmm.
But you always had this like even kill like temperament about you, which completely helped me. I mean, if you were any other way, I don't think it would have worked because of how I was raised. Like you just being so even kill with how you spoke, and even when we weren't doing well, like it just helped me trust you more because you were very gentle with me.
Yeah.
And seeing you being out of that position of me making all the decisions, having you lead our family was a relief for me. Difficult because I felt like I lost control for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized like, wow, like
much easier just letting my husband lead.
Yeah. And again, like we made decisions together to an extent, but I think I needed to just let go completely.
Yeah, for a time
because I was always like so headstrong. And again, it was difficult for a time, but I felt more at peace when I allowed you to do that.
Yeah.
100%.
So my time at the school after a year and a half began to come to a close, and thankfully so, because things at the school were getting pretty weird.
Yeah. So fast.
Yeah, it was like what I think is that the the gospel was commercialized and then it was monetized by creating like a ministry school and stuff and all the YouTube. And so there was a lot of pressure per performance for miracles. And so what happened is the culture just started to get more and more corrupt, and there were leaders at the school um, that came in and would teach, but they actually were like coveting what Todd White was doing because they saw that he like had a nice car and house and all this kind of stuff, and so they started like recruiting people at the school while they were there to start new ministry schools, and I just got real disgusted with it. I was like you can't, like, everybody wants to be rich and famous, and that's all they care about, you know, and what was something that was genuine has now become tainted because people got stars in their eyes, you know.
Yeah.
And they were trying to do like internships where you would go and intern at a church and
Like under big names at the time.
Yeah, they
and
were
I'm
like
sure people still know 'em,
using
but-
celebrity people's names in evangelical ministry, and I just I didn't like it. We also went to what was that famous guy's name who has the church in
Benny Hinn,
no
Michael Koulianos.
no,
Oh, Eagle Mountain Church, Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah, we went to his church for like probably 3 or 4 months, and that was really weird. We stopped going there because they were also commercializing the gospel.
I had never seen like the amount of money that flowed through that church was out of this world, and I was like shocked at how focused they were on money. Like
Every service they talked about it some way, but it all that stuff I started to see, and I was like, wow. Yes, like there's a religious side of Christianity that's like shame and condemnation and stuff like that, but there's also this prosperity
yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
gospel where like you're selling the gospel, and that's not right either. So we ended up leaving the
First
school.
time we were there though at Kenneth Copeland Church, we got $100.
we ended up leaving the school and
yeah, oh,
not
right after COVID.
I didn't participate in the internship because I could see the direction that it was heading in.
Yeah.
People were starting to get like cliquey and like, oh, I got accepted by, you know, this person's ministry, and I'm going to intern at this place, and they were like comparing where they were going to intern at, and I was like, I don't want to be there. Like a lot of people kissing ass like to certain leaders to try to get certain internships, and I was like, this isn't why I came. You know? So I ended up going back home, and that was good for me. I felt like I had purpose again, apart from just what I was like doing.
Yeah,
I just had purpose. It was inside of me now.
You had direction again. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
It was like not starting over. That's not the right word, but like right before all that stuff happened with us and the cultish life, it was like that moment moving forward, but with the maturity and knowledge now.
Yeah.
So there was that innocence and excitement and purity, but with maturity.
Yeah. And I had it right before I left, I had a dream about going into construction. And so it was another one of those like really vivid dreams. I still remember it to this day. And in the dream, he was like teaching me about wealth. like actual like it wasn't like money wealth. It was like um how to treat yourself, how to uh expect to be treated by other people. It was like my personal wealth, you know. So I went home like and started a construction business, and I knew that I was needed to do that to learn my personal value and stuff. And it was cool because we'll talk about that in the next uh, chapter. But I had a lot of challenges in doing construction where I had opportunities to like allow people to treat me like trash, or you know, allow people to just take advantage of me, and I had to like choose to treat myself better, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a time too. But yeah.
We moved our camper back to Louisiana, and
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
we lived in the camper at my old car dealership
Oh yeah.
for probably about a month until we got on our feet, huh?
Yeah, and then
And then we moved to those apartments on government
yeah.
because when we got back from school, we were broke.
Yeah. Somebody kindly paid for your second semester or something. They were like, "Hey, I just feel like I'm supposed to take care of it because you had no money to pay for it."
Mhm.
The Penders.
I was doing odd jobs and all kinds of
We
stuff.
had money to be okay in Texas, like
Mhm.
because rent was like $400 a month or something like
It's
that.
so cheap
Oh God, it's so cheap
compared to what it is now.
Yeah, like 4,000. No, not that much, but yeah, I
Not
mean,
that
we
much.
launch. But we had money to eat and medical stuff if we needed.
Yeah,
But
we always had what we needed.
and we got to go to the zoos and things like that with the kids. We had fun with them during that
Yeah.
time. We always made it work, which was cool. Yeah. But yeah, going back, we were broke. Camper life.